Welcome. I am Day, a woman in recovery from loss, grief, trauma, and addiction. I have found that in my years of active recovery, that upon waking, it is useful for me to affirm and devote myself to the me of my recovery, the one who ties all of the pieces of me together, gently and lovingly, to face each day. With these daily affirmations, reflections, and devotions, walk with me on the journey of renewal and self reflection. And remember that you are not alone. Fair Use Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. January 8. Do I have a choice? The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice in drink. Our so-called willpower becomes practically non-existent. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 24. My powerlessness over alcohol does not cease when I quit drinking. In sobriety, I still have no choice. I can't drink. The choice I do have is to pick up and use the kit of spiritual tools. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 25. When I do that, my higher power relieves me of my lack of choice and keeps me sober one more day. If I could choose not to pick up a drink today, where then would be my need for AA or a higher power? Courage to Change One Day at a Time in Al-Anon. Fair Use. January 8th. I once emphatically told my family that their bickering and making our newly sober loved one nervous, and this might cause her to start drinking again. I was shocked when I was told just as emphatically, well, let her. I realized that I was still trying to make everything smooth and easy for the alcoholic because I hadn't accepted that I was just as powerless over alcoholism in sobriety as I had been during the active years. It was then that I truly discovered how beautifully letting go and letting God can work. When I fully understood how powerless I was over the situation, I was able to trust that the alcoholic was her own higher power and that together they can work out her future. I felt like a new person because I was free of the constant need to watch over her, free to live my own life. I care about the alcoholic in my life more than I can say. I wish her health, happiness, and sobriety, but I cannot hand these things to her. She and her higher power are in charge of that. I can only love her, and when I stop to think about it, that is enough. Today's reminder. Today, I choose to place my trust in that higher power, knowing that all is well. If we supply the willingness, God supplies the power. The Al-Anon Family Groups Classic Edition. Fair Use. Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts. January 8th. Our special condition is the basis for a successful recovery that offers unlimited growth. Basic text, page 44. When our members celebrate their recovery anniversaries, they often say that they've grown up in a. Well, then we think, what does that mean? We start to wonder if we're grown-ups yet. We check our lives, and yes, all the trappings of adulthood are there. The checkbooks, the children, the job, the responsibility. On the inside, though, we often feel like children. We're still confused by life much of the time. We don't always know how to act. We sometimes wonder whether we're really grown-ups at all, or whether we're children who've somehow been put into adult bodies and given adult responsibilities. Growth is not best measured by physical age or levels of responsibility. Our best measure of growth is our spiritual condition, the basis of our recovery. If we're still depending on people, places, and things to provide our inner satisfaction, like a child depending on its parents for everything, we do indeed have some growing to do. But if we stand secure on the foundation of our spiritual condition, considering its maintenance our most important responsibility, we can claim maturity. Upon that foundation, our opportunities for growth are limitless. Just for today, the measure of my maturity is the extent to which I take responsibility for the maintenance of my spiritual condition. Today, this will be my highest priority. Fair use. Today, Emotions Anonymous, January 8th. Reflection for today. Holding on to my secrets became intolerable. Sharing them was unthinkable. I shared them anyway and survived. Without working, suggested step 5, I could not have survived. I would have slipped out of the program. I need to get rid of all the awfulness of my past. The only way to release the sordidness, the shame, the dishonesties, and the guilt was to take a complete moral inventory of myself and to honestly admit it to God, to myself, and to another human being. I learned that burying or stuffing my attributes or failings will only do me harm. The human being I worked with was a fifth step person. Meditation for today. God, help me to continue to be as honest and open with others as I was at my first fifth step. Today, I will remember a fifth step once a year is like spring cleaning. Everything gets shiny and bright. Fair use. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. January 8. We often can triggers, excuse me, the title is Triggers, January 8th. We often cannot avoid triggers, but we can change the way we deal with them. Big Red Book, BRB, page 253. They really know how to push my buttons. How often have we said this to ourselves or heard others say it? The buttons are the repressed memories or resentments we have stored in that place in our mind and body that we never want to visit. So when someone says or does something that awakens those memories, the battle begins. It's as if these old memories and resentments are poised at the gate. waiting to get out, waiting for us to finally deal with them, and reminding us that until we do, they will always be there. Unlike most other recovery programs, ACA encourages us to resurrect those memories and resentments and put them on the table in a safe and loving environment. In doing so, the miracle happens. They begin to lose their power, and little by little, we find that we can, in fact, deal with them without feeling as helpless as we did when the events actually occurred. ACA is the safe place that allows this to happen. Our fellow travelers have also been that scared 5-year-old, and they know how we feel. On this day, I know that taking away the power of old memories will also take away the power of the triggers. Please subscribe, like, share, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be.